For the first time in decades, researchers have found a new class of antibiotics that could effectively fight superbugs, which are some of the planet's most drug-resistant bacteria. One of the researchers responsible for the discovery joined us earlier for more.
We have like all these new breakthrough antibiotics just lying in our soil right under our feet. So in the right lab, and also as a PhD, like when I did my PhD in India, so I've been doing this work just isolating these microbes, these bacteria from the soil, and then just harnessing the power of like microbes in terms of what kind of molecules they make. So we extract these molecules from these bacteria, and then we test them against the pathogenic bacteria if it can kill some of the pathogenic strains or not. So that's what we did in this story. So we got the soil samples from our lab manager's backyard soil in Hamilton, and then we brought the soil back to the lab, and then same thing we did. We isolated uh, like around 100 bacteria from this soil sample. And then we tested this bacteria if any of them is making something new or something useful for us. So then luckily we found this one bacterium that we are calling Bacillus. It's a group of bacteria that live in soil. You can find it like anywhere in Hamilton or even in a different country. It's a common soil organism. So this bacterium was producing something new. And then when we found out, oh, it's a like new antibiotic, it has not been reported before. And the way it kills other bacteria, so that was stunning. When we found out these things, it was amazing. It was a satisfying moment at that time.
We also asked how exactly this new antibiotic combats drug-resistant bacteria and superbugs.
So lyricidin, first I'll tell you how it looks. So you might have heard the word the lasso rope that cowboys use to capture animals. So they have the slip knot like structure, like the rope. So this lyricidin, it has exactly the same shape. It's like a lasso. So it's like a string of like amino acids. And they like the few amino acids, they make like a ring, and this string is like threaded through this ring, giving this a slip knot like three-dimensional structure. So the way it gets in the bacterial cell in order to attack on its target, and the target is the protein synthesis machinery in the bacteria. So we call it ribosome. But the way it gets in the cell, that's like very common in bacteria. So it uses like a common mechanism to get in the cell, and the ribosome, we know the protein synthesis machinery, that's common in like all cells. Even like human cells, we have this machinery. But what makes it different that it has minimum impact on the human protein synthesis machinery. So that's why it's specific to bacteria. And moreover, it only attacks the bacteria that needs oxygen to grow. For example, if you look at our gut microbes, they are mainly anaerobic. They don't need oxygen. So the one good thing about lyricidin is it has minimum effect on the gut microbiome. So it only attacks the pathogens.
And lastly, we discussed what is needed to be able to use this antibiotic on humans.
That's a great question. So what we have done so far is just the discovery of like a new antibiotic. So it's just a proof of concept that yes, we can have something, just a starting point. Now the real hard work begins. Now we have to turn this into a real drug. So that's where we need a lot of resources, a lot of efforts and energy, and also a lot of time. It might take up to a decade or more. So that's the real thing begins now. So we are modifying this antibiotic now, its chemical structure, so we can improve its chemical properties and we can make it a better and more potent drug. We know that there are some superbugs that have like gained antibiotic resistance to even our last resort weapons that we use to kill them. So we call them the gram-negative bacteria. For example, E. coli, Acinetobacter baumannii, like Klebsiella pneumoniae. So all these bugs, they infect your lungs. They also infect, they go to bloodstream and they cause sepsis, and they also cause like urinary tract infections. So we are targeting these bacteria, which are like on the top of the list of World Health Organization's critical priority pathogens list.